I've been gone from my house for quite a bit because I recently went on vacation to California, fun stuff, to see family, go to Knott's Berry Farm, hang around Riverside, California, just do a lot of stuff in, SoCal. And I come home and I have laundry everywhere because I did my laundry before leaving. I have a very, very messy desk. It's been hard trying to get back into routine, especially since the day after I get back, I get scheduled for 2 days of work. Long story short, I am out of routine and I'm out of my element. And it kind of just got me thinking about kind of how everybody tries to glamorize the whole that girl thing, you know what I mean? And in reality, nobody is that girl all the time. I know that's not really like a new concept, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Hi, hello, my name is Eden. How are you? I'm doing great, except this. But I didn't feel like cleaning any of it up. Either way, it's fitting for the video topic, I guess. I got home Sunday night from my trip, and during my trip, I felt very lazy, and I was kind of just forgetting. I'm literally on vacation. I have nothing to do. I have nothing to worry about. But I was still stressed like all the time about the most random, unimportant stuff, because that's just me. That's just me. That's just my brain. I was still worrying about work, even though I knew I wouldn't have work for another 2 weeks. I was still worrying about all this random stuff and just felt very out of my element, struggling to stay in God's word, and which just made things feel very chaotic in my brain area. Pretty much for as long as I can remember, I've struggled really bad with routine. Well, not as long, honestly, because when I was 8 years old and younger, I wasn't horrible with routine. I've been fine until 9 years old. And then 9 years old, I had kind of a mental health crash. I think I talked about that in a previous video, from what I'm aware of, where I thought everybody was a robot, everybody secretly hated me, and since then my routine has been kind of weird, and my relationship with sleep, not so great, my relationship with chores, also not so great, especially since I'm now supposed to manage myself and I'm not being managed by my parents. Ever since 2021, which would be 12 years old, 12 to 13, I've been telling my parents, hey, so I've actually done extensive research on this thing called ADHD. ADHD. Maybe I should go see, just for the funsies of it, if that could be a possibility. And I love my parents to death, but their response made me want to cry. Because their response was, let us know if it gets worse, and then maybe. 2 years later, hey y'all, so actually, I can't function. I can't think, I can't do anything. I don't know what's wrong with me. It must be that dang phone. Still got no diagnosis. Fast forward to 2024, I don't know, sometime around then, my sibling gets an ADHD diagnosis. Hey y'all, fast forward to this year, 2026, my dad tries to go back to seminary Bible school, okay? He tries to do some of that. Cannot focus. Like, his learning is significantly worse than it used to be. Really struggling. My family cannot remember stuff to save our lives. We have poor time management. My mom's over here making jokes about, we all have ADHD. Oh, okay, so now you agree with me. Where's my diagnosis? This is so unfair to me. And here we are. Still nothing. Just an assumption, some hopes and some dreams. My experience with routine and building habits has been rocky, to say the least, okay? Right over here, I have a full routine on my wall. Do I ever look at it? No. I've spent hours, like 6 hours maybe total, maybe even more, refining that routine over the past 3 years into what it is now and adjusting it to my life. And I just cannot put my mind to it to actually follow it. Shout out to Google sheets, by the way. Anyway, I even have like a workout routine on the power box thingamajiggy right there. I have a routine checklist in case this isn't really adding up and my brain needs it simplified. I have not looked at that checklist in quite a while, and I probably need to update it or simplify it so that way my brain can process it and not shut down at the sight of it. I have about 19 current overdue reminders on my phone. I very, very slowly but surely check those off, and I check the reminders list daily, and I have a pile of laundry that has been here for about 3 weeks. I have boxes right behind my tripod that I'm too lazy to take out of my room. I have some books from my old class that I need to give to somebody who's going into that class this school year that I still have not given to them. Books that I haven't finished, shoes on the ground instead of on my shoe rack. It gets crazy. And just could never figure out, no matter how hard I tried, no matter how motivated I felt, no matter how devoted I was to getting my crap together, just never really could ever do it. And that's not great. That's not a great feeling. And I know I'm not the only one. It doesn't take ADHD to make you that way, but I'm not self-diagnosing. Undiagnosed but pretty sure is what I'll call it, okay? I've done my extensive research on it. I check nearly every single box for it. And it's just been ruining my life. I have my good days where I'm like, yes, I can finally pick up my Bible and focus again. I can remember to pray. I can remember to do my chores. I can remember to just function like a normal human being without feeling like I'm battling myself, trying to put my hand to a burning hot stove, but knowing how bad it'll hurt. Because that's kind of how I've heard a lot of people describe ADHD. It's like, the stove is on. You know you are fully capable of putting your hand to the burning hot stove, but something in your brain stops you from doing that because it knows how bad it'll hurt you. So no matter how much you try to put yourself to it, you just can't. And that's exactly how I felt like since like 9-10 years old. It's been rocky and it's been weird, and it's really bad with social media, seeing how productive everybody is, how incredible everybody is, how, oh my gosh, it's that girl, it's that Proverbs 31 woman, oh my gosh, she has her life so together, this is how your life should look 24/7 every single day. And that's just an unrealistic expectation to put on any human being, to be fully productive, fully motivated, fully okay, and crap togethered, for lack of better words. That sounds really weird. All the time. I've just kind of been like routineless as of late, especially over my vacation. I didn't really have a routine. I just went with the flow. But I, in reality, wasn't going with the flow. I was kind of fighting it, or felt like I was supposed to, because I wasn't really doing much of anything. It just, every second of every day that I was supposed to be relaxing, all I could hear was my brain screaming at me to do something, but I didn't know what. What am I missing? What am I not doing? Why can't I just relax? And in reality, we kind of just have to realize that as humans, we're not good enough. I know that's probably a shocker for some people to hear, because social media, this isn't all horrible. I totally get the sentiment behind it, but people on social media are all about that. You go, girl, you're good enough, and you can fulfill yourself. Kind of bull honky. But in reality, that's bull honky. Why? Because we're not good enough. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with accepting that. In fact, there's a lot of freedom that comes with accepting that you're not good enough, accepting that you don't have it all together, that you cannot fix yourself. And there's a lot of empowerment that comes with that. And I think that's what some people are missing, because no matter, even if you're thinking, I'm good enough all the time, there's still that weight, no matter what you say to yourself, to maintain that good enoughness. And when you kind of realize, you know what, no, I'm not good enough, it might make you feel very down in the dumps to realize and accept that, until you realize, and that's okay, because you know who was enough? Jesus. I know. inserting my Christianese into my videos. This is my channel, I can do whatever the crap I want, okay? In reality, we don't have to be good enough, and that's okay, because Christ was enough. We cannot have it all together all the time, and we cannot expect the world of ourselves, because it is humanly impossible for anybody to be perfect. And that should be an obvious thing, but apparently it's not really that obvious, because people still expect perfection. We're not good enough. We're not good enough. If you want a book that's kind of about that, I haven't finished this book yet again. I have books I desperately need to finish. But one book that I recommend is You're Not Good Enough, parentheses, and that's okay. It's by Allie Beth Stuckey, which is a Christian author, by the way. Heads up. It's a really good book from the first 2 chapters, maybe, that I've read. But she's a very well-spoken lady, very thoughtful. I'd recommend it. Let me know what you think of it. Life never stays the same. Life changes constantly. Every day has its own demands, its own fluctuations, its own new patterns. Every day is different. And we cannot expect us to be perfect every single day, because one day you may be super duper energetic and be able to get a whole lot done, and you lay out a whole routine that night about what you're going to do tomorrow, and you wake up tomorrow, and no matter how good your sleep was, you feel as if you maybe slept for 2 minutes maximum, and you just can't do anything. You can't get out of bed. You can't even brush your teeth. And we will always have those days. And I'll get into this more later. Let me write it down, actually, because I just thought of this. Hold on. What is it? I'm gonna call it tier routines. And that's kind of where you might want to have like routine ideas for your best days, your medium days, and your worst days. Where your worst days is like, okay, I just need to do all of the necessary stuff to take care of my health and not worry about anything else. I don't have the energy to do anything more. Medium days being like, I can get done all of the things I need to do desperately and a little bit more. And best days being like, I can go to the gym, I can go on a hike, I can read, 25 pages of a book or 3 chapters of a book. I can do all these things and be okay. But I'll get into that more later. That was just something I just thought of and wanted to mention that in case I didn't remember to expand upon it later. But every day is different, so you really have to remember you cannot predict how great the next day is going to be, and you cannot predict how much you're going to be able to handle. We are also, just like life, always changing. We are always changing. We don't stay the same. Like I said, our moods fluctuate, our energy doesn't stay the same. We can waste it super easily. We can over-predict how energized we are and then overdo it very fast. And we really just have to be gentle on ourselves and understanding with ourselves and understanding about our limitations. We have to understand our limitations, understand what it looks like for us to be human, and be okay with being human and not being Superwoman or Superman. Sometimes you just have to learn to go with the flow, because some days your routine is going to be completely thrown out the window. I know for me, I don't know what it is. I go pretty bat doo-doo insane whenever my routine gets interrupted. I'm like right in the middle of doing something I had just managed to set my mind to, and then my mom comes walking up and is like, hey, we're leaving in 10 minutes because we're going to go do this thing that we didn't tell you about sooner. And all of a sudden my mood is ruined for the rest of the day. I have a nasty attitude towards everybody. All the motivation, all of the good that I had planned for that day, completely out the window. Your flow just gets completely interrupted, and you know that when you get home, you're going to be a lot more tired, a lot more drained, and you're just not going to have the energy to do anything. We have to learn to be okay with the uncomfortable, ever-changing nature of life, and we have to learn to just go with the flow. And if your routine gets interrupted, just take a breather and realize, it's okay, I can get back on track when I get home. Make some ground rules for yourself and be like, I'm not gonna sit down when I get home and go on my phone. If I do, I'm going to set a timer for myself, and I will not ignore that timer. I will get up, no matter how much I hate it, no matter what, I will get up and go finish what I was doing earlier and get back on track. And that's something I need to learn, is how to go with the flow and just manage myself and manage my tasks when my tasks and my life and my routine kind of get interrupted and my routine isn't, exactly cookie cutter routine anymore, I have something in the middle of the day, so I no longer have the time to do all this, and this, and this. You know what I mean? There are some things I no longer have the energy or time for, and that's okay, because if it's not urgent, I can do it tomorrow. I don't have to stress too much. The whole routine culture can be very toxic because, like I said, people expect absolute perfection from themselves and other people. I can almost guarantee you that the YouTuber who had just filmed a video about this is the perfect morning routine, this is gonna make your life so much better, they've changed that routine since. Because you know what? No routine is perfect because life is imperfect, and like I said earlier, life is ever changing and so are you. Your schedule is ever changing, your habits are ever changing, things are always going to be different, and what might work for somebody else might not even work for you, no matter how productive they look. There's just a big possibility that the reason that routine might work for them but not you is just because your brains are built different. Nobody's the same. And regardless, I think a lot of people on the internet, not all, but a lot of people who do the whole productivity thing are a bunch of fakers, because they might try to look very productive, but they're not like that every day. I can almost guarantee you that they are not like that every single day. They are probably doing it for the camera. They might have a couple good days where they do that, and they're not necessarily a horrible person for showcasing their ideal routine to you, even though they can't do that forever and accidentally making themselves out to look like the most productive person on earth. But I can guarantee you, you thought they were like that every day, and they're not actually. And in reality, we have to realize sometimes if a routine is not working for you, if you have too much on your plate and you are expecting the world of yourself, sometimes you have to completely scrap everything and start from scratch. Like, I'm talking, tear the schedule off the wall, tear the workout routine off the wall, tear the task list off the wall, crumble them up, and start fresh with the absolute basics and necessities and rebuild. And what I mean when I say that is you have to take your tasks and put them down into bite-sized, digestible amounts. Anyway, if you struggle really bad with routine and keeping routine, sometimes you just have to, and you have too much on your plate, you just have to stick to the bare bones. Like, brush your teeth, wash your face once a day if you can't remember to do it twice. Sometimes if you're really struggling, even brushing your teeth once a day rather than twice, and then building up to doing it twice a day is better than just foregoing it altogether. Sometimes you just have to completely scrap your routine and just strip it down to the most basic form, and then add on to it slowly once you get the hang of doing the basic tasks. There was this video that was posted maybe 2-3 years back by Zoe Unlimited. That was kind of about motivation is a lie, and here's how to actually build tasks. And this is a concept that I got from her. Something that you have to learn to do is you have to learn motivation doesn't work. You cannot rely on motivation because you might be super motivated one day and have zero motivation the next day. And while motivation can be helpful in helping you get things done, it's not always going to be there. So you cannot expect the world of yourself. You cannot be like, yes, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week and never skip a single day. Because do you know what's going to happen? You're going to be super burnt out super fast because you're way out of your routine. You're all out of order, you're all out of whack, and you're not used to it, and you miss a single day, and then you go, screw it, I'm not worthwhile, I suck, and then miss every single other day. because you don't know how to fail and you don't know how to build a task realistically. So basically what you need to do instead is, when you're building tasks and habits and routines, is you need to learn how to put it into a bite-sized amount. The example that Zoe Unlimited gave, and I might try to find the video and put it in the description, so if you want to see the full video, because it's a really good video, and I need to put this into action and try it. But the example she gave is, you want to go to the gym. Cool. Instead of immediately shooting for 5 days a week, you should start with 1 day a week for 15 minutes. And then as you get comfortable and used to doing that, up the stakes a little and go, okay, I'm going to start going 1 day a week for 30 minutes. And then it's going to be, once you're comfortable with that, 2 days a week for 30 minutes each. Or maybe 2 days a week with 1 day being 30 minutes and the other day being 15, just like slowly building until you get to your goal of it being 5 days a week with 30 minutes each, until you are like comfortable with that, until it is habit. Because the goal of making habits is to make something a habit, to make it second nature to you. And you cannot make it second nature if you're completely not used to it and you're forcing yourself into it and completely relying on motivation and expecting the world of yourself, and you haven't built up to really stay consistent with it, if that makes any sense. So let's say you want to start reading a book. Instead of being like, I'm going to read 30 pages every single night, you should be like, okay, I think on a Thursday in the morning or before bed, I'm going to read 10 pages or a chapter, however much you can really handle, depending on how long your book chapters are, I guess. And then once you're comfortable and used to doing that, you can start doing Thursday and Friday nights. You are reading 15 or 20 pages or 2 chapters. Or maybe even just Thursday you're reading a chapter and then Friday you're reading another chapter, something like that. Just like until pretty much every night you are very, very, very used to picking up the book, reading a chapter or two, and not even really thinking about it. Like, that's the whole point of building a habit, is to make it second nature, not to put yourself way out of your element to the point where it's impossible for you to adjust to this new life, this new routine. You're supposed to take your tasks in a bite-sized, remember this, tasks are supposed to start off bite-sized and digestible, okay? You cannot give an infant a steak and expect it to be able to chew it. You have to start with the milk, and then mushy gushy food, which sounds nasty, and start building up until they can eat a steak. You cannot expect the world of you when it is so out of nature, when it is so out of the ordinary for you to do something, and you just have to be very gracious with yourself. And you have to learn to fail. That's another thing. Some things that Zoe Unlimited said in that video is, school doesn't teach you how to fail, they teach you what it looks like to succeed. So something that you have to learn as you grow older is what to do when you fail. And I will tell you what you don't do. When you fail, you don't say, screw it, I'm going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, if that's even the right way to use the term, and just give up altogether. No more habits, no more good. I'm no good, so I give up. That's not what you should be doing. What you should be doing is you should be saying, man, I messed up and missed a day going to the gym, or missed a day reading my Bible. I shouldn't be mad at myself because it happens. God's not mad at me because it happens. And it's not the end of the world. I can try again. When you don't succeed, try again, or however the quote goes. And Another quote I just think of that I just thought of. I can't remember exactly how this goes, but this is something that an old theater teacher used to say all the time. Good, better, best, never let it rest until your good gets better and your better gets best. That's basically what the whole concept is. You're starting a bite-sized habit, and that's good. And then as you get into routine, as you start practicing it more, it gets better. You get better at it, and you're able to add more time to the task and be more skilled at it, I guess. And then once it just becomes second nature to you, that's when you're at your best. And you're never gonna be at your best all the time, and you should not expect that of yourself. But I feel like that's a good quote. Both those quotes, the when you don't succeed, try again, and the better, good, better, best, both of those are from my old theater teacher. So shout out. And I think those are good things to just live by, and those go for every area of life. But when you fail, just remember you can try again. Just because you fail once doesn't mean you're no good. It just means you're human. And you can try again. You can stand up again, and you can try. Now, let's talk about tier routines. This is another concept that I learned from a different video. It has been a long time since I've seen that video, so it would take a lot of searching for me to find it, but it was basically a video by a woman talking about how to realistically build a routine. And then she introduced this concept of having a bad day routine, a medium day routine, and a good day routine. And I'm just gonna call it the tier routines, okay? First tier, second tier, third tier days, maybe. But like I said earlier, you cannot be perfect all the time. You cannot expect the same thing from yourself all the time. I know I've said that a million times. I know I'm really beating a dead horse with this one, but that is so vital to understand. And that's why you need to just be prepared to have a bad day. Because no matter how much you might not want to have a bad day, no matter how much you want to pretend you're productive and perfect all the time, you're not. And you're going to have a bad day, and you're going to need help. So you should prepare for it as much as you realistically can. And that's where this whole concept of tier routines comes in, okay? So, give me a second. This is my routine, okay? I'm only going to show it for a split second, but it's every single day of the week with every 30 minutes in a day accounted for, pretty much. Well, at least every 30 minutes a day accounted for from when I wake up, or a little bit before I wake up, and all the way to when I go to sleep. So, I have a lot on here, so I really need to simplify my routine. But this is what my best day would look like, okay? This is what my best day would look like. On the average day, I can accomplish maybe half of this if I put my mind to it. Because let's be honest, I don't have energy, okay? And this is during like the school year, by the way, for reference. And this does not account for my work schedule at all. I have on my iPad on Google Sheets what a day would look like, what each one of these days would look like if I had a specific shift, because we have very specific hours that we work. So it's kind of predictable. But in reality, on a Monday and Tuesday and Friday and Saturday, which are the days I work more often than not, I wouldn't be able to get done all of this, or I would have to do a lot of it, back to back, really. So in reality, I have to realize that I need to be flexible in order to accomplish my Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday tasks and not shut down, or I need to understand my limitations and realize, listen, today I just don't have the energy to do all of this, so if I'm going to do any of it, I don't need to expect myself to do it perfectly, and I don't need to expect myself to do it for 30 minutes or an hour. I need to give myself grace and maybe just do 15 minutes or 30 minutes instead of 30 minutes or an hour. of those tasks, depending on how important they are. Homework might be different, because sometimes you just, whether you like it or not, have to get it done. But yeah, there's just a lot to do, and your life is ever changing. So what I need to do, instead of having just a perfect routine like this, I think I might need to depart from having a routine laid out like this altogether for a little bit. And I might be better off, give me a second, reverting back to this. A simple, not laminated, but taped where the stuff is, where the dry erase is. Routine, task list. Because I don't know why, but my brain just operates so much better when I have flexibility. Shocker, I know. And when I can just look at a task list that is laid out a lot more simpler than this. This is a lot more digestible than this. And I can just go, okay, what's the next thing? Oh, okay, let me go do that. If I have the energy for it. And I might want to depart from, just for a little, I'll still have this, but depart from it for a little bit. I might want to depart from a crazy looking routine to just tasks, because this is a lot more understandable and digestible. And I might want to have one of these for my good days. Like, this is a lot of tasks. Some of them I don't even deem necessary anymore. Like, why do you mean I have dimmed the lights as part of my bedtime routine? Why? I don't know. But this might be my ideal day, okay? But I need to have less tasks on my medium or average day, and even less tasks on my bad day. So have one for an ideal day, a medium day, and my worst days. So that way I can just easily look at it and go, this is what I need to do today. And something that I need to investigate and maybe try for myself is having a productivity folder. I wouldn't do a journal just because I feel like there's a lot less flexibility in what you can do with a journal. But if you have a folder and you write on like just school lined paper and you put it in the folder, and then you can print things out, hole punch it, and put it in the folder as well. You can do all sorts of things with the folder, and it can be your workout folder. You can have like tabs and organize it. I'm a huge organization freak, by the way. Just have like tabs in it. There's like a workout section, and there's like a routine section. There's like a motivation, like maybe a little thing you can read, like that reminds you you can't be perfect all the time section, or like a Bible section, you know, that's kind of your Bible plan. Let me just quickly go over the tools I listed, okay, to help you rebuild. Because rebuilding, when you realize that a routine is not working for you and that you need to try again, it's a lot, okay? So number one, deconstruct your routine. That sounds scary. The word deconstruct sounds very scary to me. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But break down your routine to bare bones, or just demolish it. And then number two, make some tier routines, either using, you can use any kind of routine you want, but these are what I recommend. A checklist, which might be a lot more digestible, or a routine like this, or both, like I've had for quite a while, but this can be overwhelming, so I need to depart from that for a little bit. But number three, build bite-sized, digestible habits, and build slowly. Meaning, like I said earlier, do not expect the world of yourself, and start with something very simple, like, oh, I want to read the Bible every day, but I really struggle to even read a singular chapter in a day. I should probably start with studying, not just reading, but studying a singular verse a day, or maybe studying a verse every other day or something like that, until I can do it every day, or until I can read a chapter a day and study it as well, because yet again, when you are reading the Bible, you want to study it for the sake of understanding and processing what it really says. Think along the lines of observation, interpretation, application. observe what it says, interpret it like this is what that means, and apply it to your life. Like, if God says it's good to love God and love other people, I should love God and love other people. And just use simple tools out there to help you study and understand what God is saying, which actually that might be another cool video idea, to do a video about studying God's Word. That could be cool, but yeah, just completely demolish your routine if it's not working for you and start from scratch. Do the tier routines of the good, better, best days, okay? And build habits that are bite-sized and digestible, and give yourself time to grow. Don't expect the world of yourself. If you sense that you are finally used to doing a habit when you want to do it, that's when you add on to it. You do not add on to it when you are not ready for it to be added on to. You have to be gracious with yourself, and building a routine, building a habit takes time, and we're just impatient people. We expect us to really build habits really fast. I don't think this is very true, but I heard that it takes 28 days to build a habit. I think that's been proven wrong, but it's still a good concept to keep in mind. Like, try, if you struggle really bad with building habits, try to stick with a habit for a month. Like a very simple, bite-sized, digestible habit. Remember, bite-sized, digestible. Remember those words. Try to stick with it for a month, and then if you're like, psh, this habit's a breeze, like this is second nature to me now, that's when you add on to it. So, but that's all I really have for you guys today. This was a long one, but I feel like this is a very important chat to have, just for the sake of me processing my own thoughts, and because I feel like somebody out there is struggling just as bad as I am, and especially if you don't have cognitive therapy and somebody to walk you through what's happening in your brain and how to really genuinely build a good habit that's going to stick and all the stuff, it can be really difficult, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. People don't realize how hard it is to be human for some people. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this very long video, but I have a feeling this is going to be a good video, and that this will help somebody out there. Because I've been in that trap too, of being like, it's all about motivation. I can be a productive person. I even posted a video about how to study and be good at school and prepare to go back into school year strong. And did I ever practice any of those habits? No, I did not. I'm going to be so frank with you. 2022 me was on something. I'm kidding, I wasn't actually, but I just had a lot of expectations that fell flat on their face. I really wanted to be study quill. I wish I was. I wish my brain worked that way, but it just doesn't. And she's probably not perfect all the time either. Yet again, everybody's human and everybody struggles. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely day. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, long form, unedited, very raw, very real, with just very simplistic notes, just talking about life and my experiences, please subscribe and stick around for more. I plan on doing videos like this a lot more because I just enjoy yapping. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Have a good one.